Action. Directing your first feature film is pretty daunting, but I always made a promise to myself that if I ever got the opportunity, if I was ever lucky enough to get the opportunity to do this, I was going to put my whole heart and soul into this.
Paul is probably one of the nicest directors I've ever worked with.
His filmic mind is incredible. His depth of knowledge of sci-fi in particular is second only to me.
He's so energetic, he knows sci-fi so well. He calls himself a geek and he wears that badge with pride.
He has this delightful, childlike excitement that brings the energy up in the room, and that makes selling the magic so much easier.
It's tough for a first-time director. That, you know, we do see more first-time directors now than ever before, and there's a misconception it's much easier now to get your first gig. It isn't. You know, when you're dealing with finance people, when you're dealing with distributors, they want names, they want people who have got established track records. It's always tough to kind of persuade them to take a chance on new talents.
He's passionate about it and he deserves it, you know. I know Paul, like I said, for a number of years, and he's worked damn hard to get where he is, and it's really only the start of the journey for him. So
in a way, he's been prepping for this his whole life. Everything he's done up till this point has led to this. You know, he's a huge film fan, he understands film, he understands storytelling so well, he understands how a script works, how to break it down, what the characters are and what they need to be and how important all those elements are.
And he also translates those stories clearly to, you know, producers, crew.
Really, when you're shooting a movie, it's really more about troubleshooting on set. You should have done all of the work beforehand. I mean, that's why pre-production is so important. And, you know, once again, there was no way that I was going to let anybody down, including myself, on this movie. If I was going to do it, I was going to go for the gold 100%, and that means just throwing yourself into it and working as hard as possible.
The fact that he's a first-time director, I think, fades to the fact that he's such a good, organized person.
I storyboarded the entire movie. I used this program called FrameForge 3D. With this program, which is this 3D sort of visualization, I was able to create my environments and create my characters and really set the cameras and really almost direct the movie and edit the movie before I shot a single frame. It was a great shorthand to have those books on set with me and show them to the actors, show them to anybody, you know, any of the craftspeople, so they could see exactly what was in my head. With that said, I did make some adjustments to my vision because of my incredible DP, Denton Atkinson.
When Paul and I first sat down and talked, we talked about the importance of the director and the DP relationship and how you have to feed off, collaborate, that sort of a thing. So the whole time we've been communicating, and I've been trying to get inside of his head to say, what is it you want? What do you want to see? How do you want to see it?
And then once this footage started coming in and I saw the lighting and what Denton was doing, and, you know, the kind of camera moves that I wanted and how this was actually looking, I realized that, you know what? Tonally, I think I want to sort of change it up a little bit.
And it's been great because he's been excited to collaborate. You know, he told me in one of our early conversations that he didn't want to just have me as a hired gun. He really wanted to collaborate and get my thoughts, and the two of us could work together to create the feeling of the film.
And it actually is a lot more stylized than I originally intended, but that's what I always hoped for and wanted for the movie. I just didn't think we were going to be able to achieve that.
Paul's done a great job. I've been really proud, and it's been a joy to work with him and get to tell the story.
It was amazing to see the actors bring to life these characters that had been living inside exactly the way I had intended.
I look on this whole film as a wonderful gift to me in my later years, you know? I never had a chance to do a role quite like this.
There's multiple ways we can play characters and roles. So Paul's been very open from the start. Even before I read the script, he told me about this character of Brent, and then when I read it, we discussed it more.
I know everything about this story, the stuff that's not in the script, the stuff that's between the scenes, the stuff that takes place afterwards, the stuff that takes place during. All that's up here, and I know it. And it was a pleasure being asked certain questions because I could sort of share that.
And this happened several times on the set of Encounter. Is one of the stars said, well, what about this? He goes, well, no, let me explain to you. And he was able to very fully explain where this character was coming from and why they were doing this.
I loved the story, I loved the characters, I love that it wasn't just about shock value. I love that these were real people living in a very real time and real circumstance, and then this kind of crazy, amazing thing happens, and how would you react?
Paul has done a magnificent job on the script, and he seems to be doing a really great job directing. First time feature, and it's been nothing but pure pleasure the whole time.
A happy set is a comfortable set, and it puts everybody at ease, and everybody does their best work. And I've rarely seen this few egos at play, and it's great. It's great to see the cast mingling with the crew and vice versa, and hanging out together and going off the set and eating, and so I think that surprised me. It's been a long time since I've been on a set that's been this fun and happy. It's a very cool thing. It's a very unique thing.
We've pretty much all been eating together every night, spending most of our downtime together, one way or another.
I haven't been knowing these guys long, and we just get along. And it's sort of scary. It's like, are these guys aliens? Hey, please tell me you guys are still you guys.
I am.
This group of guys is particularly exceptional. They're just rad, and they're so funny, and we just basically laugh every day, and we get work done. So, I mean, how awesome.
And it's so cool. It really and truly is. I think that's one of the main things I'm gonna miss when it's over with.
And the set itself is it's tremendous. I've never been on a set that's had such a strong feeling of family and community.
There's no one here who's not on board. There's not a bad apple. There's not somebody who's kind of has their own process that doesn't gel with the others.
And I'm blown away. I think I was expecting something a little less organized and a little less, just a little more green, I should say. But it's been fantastic.
If you're going to work on a sci-fi with practical effects, you want to be in the hands of someone who lived in that world as long as Paul does. You feel in safe hands doing a sci-fi with someone who just knows the genre so thoroughly.
I walked on the set after he'd been filming for a week, and he looked like a guy who'd been doing this all his life. This doesn't look like a first-time director in action.
He makes it feel like it's a team effort, which that transcends from my position down to the person who's saying rolling on the walkie to the people in the kitchen who are making us lunch.
And his cast respect him, the crew respect him. It's refreshing and encouraging and very inspiring to see someone like that finally get a chance to do what they love and do what they're good at.
I hope audiences at the end of the movie collectively go, ah, what a lovely film. I hope that's what they do.